Murray's turned up this morning. He's bought me a couple of pallets. Just need to unload them. Can sit just there. But good morning everyone. So the stuff that Murray brought out, that is what I put in the mix wagon. It's minerals for the cows. There's lime flour there, which is calcium, and then in the sling over there, the pink one, that is mag oxide. And where am I going to put that? I think I'll just clear this stuff away and chuck it in there, I guess. Well, I don't need my jacket on today, it's actually pretty warm. Last year was the first time I actually bought it like this, and it's been pretty handy because one of these slings lasts me a whole year, so I just have to buy it once and then don't have to worry about it for a year. Whereas these lime flour, I usually get 2 tonne and that lasts me, I think it's about 6 weeks, and then I just ring up Wrightsons and they bring it out. There is a little bit of a delivery charge, but it's not too bad. Like, we could go and pick it up ourselves, but it's pretty handy just getting it dropped off like that. And they sort of bring out anything else that you need. I'm still waiting for my seed. Lee rang me yesterday, he said it's not far away, but they're just waiting to get it in stock, and then he's going to drop it out because he actually lives out this way, so he just drops it off on the way home, which is pretty handy. The last stuff I got was this farm guard, and it looks like this stuff's different. It's called Redox, but I think it's pretty much the same. It says 200 mesh powder, which is the same on here, 200 mesh, so that's the size of it. And then 87% mag oxide, which it says here 87%, so must be relatively the same stuff. But this has actually come down in price. So normally the bags are $26, and I think Lee said it was 23 now, so it is good to see a few things are coming down in price. He also said actually a lot of like the herbicides and chemicals are coming down, except Roundup. Roundup's on the way up and everything else is on the way down through. I'm not sure what that is, maybe competition or maybe people are buying less. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is good to see prices are coming down in some areas. But today's actually an exciting day on farm because all the fencing that we did a little while back, it's actually getting planted out now. And Anthony's here from
Karaniki Developments.
Is it your company?
Yeah, me and my brother.
Cool. And you've got, well, the gator, well not the gator, but the ATVs there full of plants. And Anthony is going to run through just a few of the plants that they're planting today, because there's actually quite a few. There's 10 different species, and we are also going to sort of put them as well.
So the area we're planting for on Andrew's farm here is a dry bank, and then it's got a wet swamp area at the bottom. So yeah, natives definitely need to go in the right place. So first off, we've got ribbonwood, so it goes on, likes dry banks, and produces berries. Then we've got 2 pittosporums here, lemonwood and black matapo. So they grow really fast, very bushy, and yeah, suppress the grass, which is what we want to happen.
And they also like dry ground?
Yeah, so these 4 here, those 3 definitely in dry areas. Mahoe can go quite wet as well. It's very prolific. It is very frost tender, so you can try and plant it around, like we'll plant it around the willows and stuff that have been poisoned, and that'll protect it from the frost, but produces purple berries which the birds love, and it grows really quick as well.
So a couple of these will produce the berries, which is going to bring the bird life in, and that's the whole point of it?
Yeah, so the planting an area like this, we plant at 1.5 spacing, so that's what we wanted to do, is all these plants to basically join together and then suppress all the grass, and that's going to create a humus layer like what you'd find if you went for a walk in more established bush.
Yeah.
And then once that sort of starts to happen, the birds will bring in things like totara, rewere, those longer living species, what we call canopy species, and over time, like sort of 50 to 100 years time frame, this patch of area will change from these colonizing species into more established,
yeah,
like longer liver.
Which would be cool. It won't probably be in my lifetime, but eventually, well, hopefully one of the kids wants to take over one day, and yeah, it'd be cool for their generation, I guess. But
yeah, so yeah, bringing berries for birds, and flowers for birds and bees, and yeah, the more sort of activity and the more people that do planting, it's going to create like areas for birds to travel from, like places like Mangatautri and Prongia,
yeah,
through areas like this, which is really important.
There is actually an ecological corridor, I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, Mangatautri to Prongia ecological corridor.
And we are sort of like bang in the middle of it. So Prongia Mountain's just over there, and then Mangatautri's over there. So it's just a little stop in for if birds want to stop in and have a feed on the way past. I'm hoping one day, I don't know when the last time would have been, but it'd be cool to get wood pigeons back.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate goal. Obviously there are a lot of tuis around at the moment. Everyone loves a tui, but it would be quite cool to see a kidderoo.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll carry on. Toi toi, easily, most people know pampas, but toi toi is native, pampas is not native, so toi toi is good, pampas is bad, but yeah, big grass creates nice fluffy flower heads in the summer, and it can go in, yeah, pretty much go anywhere in a site like this, not really wet. Flax, that's kind of the majority of the swamp down the bottom will be planted in flax. Yeah, just soaks up all that runoff and that moisture. Here's Kānuka, that's definitely goes in the dry. So Kānuka and Mānuka both look quite similar, but yeah, Kānuka a lot longer living and it goes in the dry, and Mānuka can go basically over a whole site except really dry, and the Waikato would have been a lot of Mānuka swamp back in the day. Yep. Cabbage trees, they go in with the flax down in the really wet stuff, and karamu as well, which is produces red berries, quite similar to the mahaui in terms of the berries it produces. Very prolific, grows really fast, and the birds love it.
And there's about 10 species of plants here, so would you say that you roughly plant 10% of each, or you'd plant more of some? And
definitely not. So we do a specific mix for each site.
oh, do you?
So when we spot spray, we have counters
Okay.
on our knapsacks, and so we get a count, and after walking over the whole site, yeah, we do a mix. And so on this site, we've got a lot of flax, because you've got a big wet area. You've got 3 or 4 big wet areas.
Yeah, it's probably majority of the areas,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, so it's probably, this mix is probably 30 to 40% flax.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
then a cabbage tree is probably 10, and then the dry species are just for your banks, and so they maha we don't put a lot in because it is so frost tender.
Oh, okay.
But things that we know are going to grow well, we put more of them in the mix. So
No, fair enough.
yeah, and then you have a bit of everything for some diversity.
Do you guys grow all these yourselves, or do you get them from someone?
Yeah, so we grow all the species ourselves.
Oh, far out.
Yeah,
It must be a bit of work in itself.
yeah, that's in the spring we pot them all up from seedlings into the T28 trays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How many plants do you reckon you grow?
150,000.
Whoa, well, that's quite a few.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a pretty cool trailer. This is what they bring all the plants out with. Obviously they can only take sort of that ATV's worth at a time. They can sort of fit a fair few on here. I don't know how many trays they'd get, but there'd be quite a few. It's looking real good. So they've actually done quite a bit. They've done that whole first section and they're all sort of working in here now. So I don't think they'll get it done today, and they're going to come back tomorrow and finish that bit off over there. Far out, it's looking awesome. So good. There's 28 plants in this tray, and in the bags they get 50 plants, so pretty much 2 of those trays. There's 5 planters, so that is a lot of loads considering they've got to put 9,000 plants in here. I can't actually work that out off the top of my head, but I'm just so impressed at how well it looks. I know it's gonna take a couple of years to sort of establish, but once we get there, it's gonna be phenomenal. I also spoke to Bills today about getting these maize paddocks strip sprayed, and we're gonna go for Monday next week, I think, or early next week anyway. The cows are grazing this last maize paddock off here, and they've got tomorrow and the next day, so they'll be finished in here Friday. And then he sort of said around Monday, but that's only 3 days worth of growth, so it might not be enough. Maybe we can do the other ones and then have to come back to here later on. Possibly that's always an option, but we're only really a month out from planting now, so it's not far away at all. When I was over there before, Anthony said they were doing an hour of power planting. I'm not sure if they do it every day or just so often, but for every tray planted in that hour, that's worth a litre of gas. And then at the end of it, they were going to add them up, divide by how many people are planting, and then top up their cars for them, gas-wise. And I reckon that's such a cool idea. It just goes to show, like, great bosses, little bit of an idea to sort of get a little bit more done. But if you do need some planting done around the Waikato, give those guys a call. They are pretty good. I'm just giving them a shout out because I think they're doing a great job, and they certainly know what they're on about. It's a cool business. They've only been going for 3 years, so a cool little startup. I'm just shutting these girls away though, and then I am done for the day. I was going to try and get the drone up earlier on, but I had it all set up, and the motors were acting real funny. They were sort of just overpowering themselves. So there's something wrong with that, which drones aren't cheap to fix, so that kind of sucks. But that'll pretty much do it. Give it a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. And apart from that, see you next time.